We thought they'd never find us. We were wrong.
I will continue my campaign against the humans.
No enemy has ever withstood our might.
Chief, we're running out of time.
I need a weapon.
There are things about Halo even the Hierarchs do not understand.
There are those who said this day would never come. What are they to say now?
Rated M for mature.
Yeah, bro.
It's another one wrapped up in lovely happy memories, this, because my wife took me completely by surprise and bought me an Xbox for my birthday. This was the original Xbox we're talking about here, the OG. The one where you needed a team of structural engineers to come out and reinforce the foundations of your house before you brought it in. To this day, I have no idea how she carried it back from the shops on her own. She might actually be a superhero? That's to be confirmed. Anyway, she did, and I got to play the one proper original Xbox exclusive on this list.
Master Chief, defend this station.
Yes, sir. I need a weapon.
Right this way.
There wasn't much on the Xbox that had really turned my head as an existing PS2 and GameCube owner. It seemed that most of the games on Microsoft's debut console were available on at least one of the other two systems, and a lot of the exclusives just didn't seem worth the investment. Nobody's going to go to the trouble of hiring a crane to get an Xbox installed in the house just to play Star Wars Obi-Wan, which was just Episode 1 again. Nobody's going to get forklift certified so they can drive the machine in through the garage and get it set up on the concrete plinth you've prepared for it, just so they can play Dead or Alive 3, although there was some appeal there.
Well, I only play for the fighting, the pixel shading bump mapping, and the rich plot development. Seriously, why else would I play it?
Nobody's going to hire an architect, construct a basement extension, lower the foundations, and put an Xbox down there just so they can be baffled at what Dino Crisis became on the platform. But Halo, that was different. You hear people being a bit snooty about the Halo games these days, especially when it comes to the idea that they were these big, influential titles that signalled a shift in the first-person shooter. There was a bit of this around at the time too. The sentiment goes that they only really mattered to people who exclusively played games on consoles, because PC gamers had all of this stuff for a long time before Halo came out. It wasn't that groundbreaking if you were used to playing shooters like Half-Life and Counter-Strike and Unreal Tournament and the Quake games, as well as their derivatives like the Jedi Knight series and Elite Force. That's a fair point to make, but I do think it also fails to take into account the completeness of the package provided by Halo, and particularly Halo 2. It's possible to argue that the impact of Halo Combat Evolved was primarily to do with the fact that console players finally had a first-person shooter that could match the movement freedom, speed and intensity of PC games. But by the time we get to Halo 2, it's about much more than that. Where PC shooters of the past had provided an incredible speed of movement allowing for precision and therefore ultra-competitive gameplay, they often did so at the expense of polish and realism, and even any sense of weight. Halo and Halo 2 managed to feel visceral, physical and chunky, without sacrificing much in the way of freedom of movement and precision shooting. It makes it feel like you're moving through an actual world rather than a series of computer-generated arenas or puzzle rooms. I must admit though, as an infrequent enjoyer of shooters, I was approaching this from a fairly layperson perspective, and I was impressed with the gameplay improvements. Halo 2 came along in a new wave of shooters like Half-Life 2 and Killzone, which felt like a step forward. The thrill of flying through these environments, engaging in combat at speed, but with regenerating shields, so you're taking short breaks to recharge, ducking behind the scenery to break line of sight, and then straight back into it, rather than bringing the action to a halt looking for medpacks. It felt fresh and accessible in a way that this genre hadn't been at times. I know recharging shields have become a bit of a talking point among FPS aficionados. Some think it detracts from the experience, removing a core mechanic, but honestly I think it emboldens you to just jump into the middle of things more frequently, because you know you can dash out to recharge at any time. It encourages experimentation and using different approaches, because you don't feel too harshly punished for getting hit. Look, this guy's absolutely loving it. Oh no, oh he's fused into the wall. Oh god, he's fused into the... Then of course there's dual wielding, which is just cool as shit. But it's also really quick and smooth to do. When you run over a weapon on the ground, you just hit Y to pick it up and dual wield, or X to swap it out for the one you have. It means you can often have Master Chief just spewing out masses of two completely different projectiles, being an absolute full auto Pez dispenser of death, and it's a beautiful thing. All of this is in service of a really well realised story. It carries on from the end of the original with the destruction of the Halo, but now there's a full-on Covenant invasion to deal with, which means we end up flying down to the surface on a fucking missile, by the way. Master Chief being essentially space Chuck Norris, but even harder. And we get to go on an adventure that's really varied, taking in a bunch of different environments and broken up with different kinds of gameplay, just as you think you're starting to get bored. Man, I've been shooting in small areas a lot. I wonder... a turret section. Oh, that was nice, but I wonder if it's all just gonna be... have a tank! Get in a tank and destroy some boys with a tank! Whew, that was awesome. Yeah, back to shooting. Yes, this is a first-person shooter after, getting a flying thing, getting a flying thing, a fucking flying thing, and fly around like it's a flying game or some shit. And on top of that, you even get to play from a different perspective as the Arbiter, which is a surprisingly serious take on exploring both sides of the conflict, as well as meaning that you can fuck people up with an energy sword, which is always a good time.
Have it.
So yeah, maybe it wasn't quite the groundbreaking, original and unique unicorn people portray it as, but Halo 2 remains an incredible time, and well worth another playthrough in 2026.